Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot to talk about this evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. And there has been a hysteria regarding Trump Russia yet again. And it's so sad and pathetic because they're rehashing the same worthless accusations. They're leveling the same dumb, stupid accusations that have no bearing in reality. So what took place last year, in 2006, late 2016, early 2017, they said, oh my God, Trump colluded with Russia to hack the DNC. Well, they found no evidence of that. And I had to get coffee. Hello, Patricia. Hello, everyone. So let's go ahead really quickly. So President Trump, this is a really interesting article in the Washington Post. And it's by Jennifer Rubin. Trump tweeted what? And it's like this inability to, I believe Jennifer Rubin wanted Hillary Clinton, even though she's conservative. I believe she wanted, and to my super chat, thank you so very much. But I believe Jennifer Rubin wanted Hillary Clinton, she's conservative, but she wanted Hillary instead of Trump. And we got 200 people, 2 minutes in. It's going to be good. And so the Washington Post has John Podesta, so that pretty much says everything you need to know. But I'm going to read you this really interesting article, and it was written earlier on today, and it's just interesting. It says everything you need to know about the DC mentality. President Trump is a lawyer's client from hell. Actually, it starts off, with all due respect to the author, it starts off in a way that's not really rooted in reality. President Trump is actually a great client. He didn't commit any crimes. What defense lawyer wants a client who actually committed crimes? He lacks self-control, cannot tell the truth. Well, he tells the truth, at least in terms of national security issues, a lot more than Hillary Clinton, who used a private server in her basement that contained top secret and special access program intelligence in her basement outside the United States government that, according to Louis Gohmert and the Inspector General Charles McAuliffe, was hacked by the entire planet. So cannot tell the truth and will not absorb legal advice he doesn't like. He doesn't need legal advice. Actually, there is nothing to fear. There is no Trump-Russia collusion. There never was. He never did anything. That's why he really doesn't care. It's not like, he actually committed a crime. He didn't commit a crime. He didn't commit a crime, and Butterface emails. And furthermore, there's really nothing that he has to hide. He doesn't have any Russian contacts that he's hiding from people, that he's afraid people will find out. He didn't pay the Russians or get paid by the Russians or anything like that. And so it's absurd. The whole thing's absurd. The DNC never gave its computer service to the FBI. BuzzFeed is suing the DNC. The Steele dossier is a complete garbage document. The FISA warrants show it was an overt setup. They tried to frame Trump based on hearsay and gossip. You don't start investigations based on hearsay and gossip. You start investigations after an actual crime. There needs to be a crime committed. Thank you, Inside Scarlet. Thank you, Inside Scarlet. The good maniacs and insomnia. Awesome. Thank you, Inside Scarlet. Thank you. So it's just absurd. The whole thing's absurd. But then most clients don't incriminate themselves in public, except Clinton, who said that she used a server for yoga, and that she initially said she would keep her server. Clinton is not only that, she actually purchased the Steele dossier. I wonder why Congress is not asking Clinton why she purchased the Steele dossier. Again and again, Trump does, however. The Post reported fake news reporting, complete fabrication. That I'm concerned about the meeting with my wonderful son, Donald, had in Trump Tower. The president wrote in one of several early morning tweets Sunday, many of which took aim at the media. This was a meeting to get information on an opponent. So this is very simple. He found that out recently, or he was told recently that's what the meeting is about. Initially, he didn't care about the meeting, or he didn't know what it was about, or he never knew about it. Now he knew about it. So they're trying to say, you're admitting you knew back then. Well, no. The timeline doesn't have to be that way. The timeline doesn't have to be, he always knew. He could have simply found out. Then they're like, the Lester Holt. It was the Lester Holt interview. Yeah, who cares? He obviously didn't like Comey. It's within his rights. Alan Dershowitz, even Time Magazine, has stated that Trump is within his constitutional authority to fire Comey or even Mueller. He's basically allowing Democrats to focus on this and not, in a way, it's like an ingenious scheme. He had Democrats actually focused on policies, perhaps they would have done better. They're now going to get utterly obliterated peacefully and politically in the midterms. And when they do, they're going to spin it like they always do. They say, well, Russia did it. I mean, how often can you use that? At a certain point, you still have to win with Russia. Let's say Russia's against you because you sold them uranium. And the notion is that, they really hate us because we're so tough on them. Meanwhile, Obama did not sell weapons to the Ukraine. Trump did. What else? He imposed harsher sanctions than Obama. And Obama presided over the uranium sale, which is actually a fact. Democrats have been so brainwashed. They're like, that didn't happen. Yes, it did. Trump was responding to a Washington Post report this week that although he does not think his eldest son intentionally broke the law, there is no law against it. He is worried that Trump Jr. may have unintentionally stumbled into legal jeopardy. What? And is embroiled in Mueller's investigation largely because of his connection to the president? What kind of mental gymnastics? This is like the Mary Lou Retton of mental gymnastics, the Nadia Comaneci. What does this even mean? Who broke laws? What laws were broken? What laws were broken? There were no laws broken. So there were just no laws broken. That's worse than acknowledging to NBC's Lester Holt. He could have said anything to Lester Holt. Lester Holt is not Congress. He wasn't under oath. It really doesn't matter. And there was no evidence of any crime committed. There was not even a crime. We don't even know. The NSA is moderately confident. The NSA's job is to find out and ensure that from a cybersecurity perspective, the country is safe. And they don't even know. They're moderately confident. It's a whole bunch of nonsense. That's worse than acknowledging. Okay, so that's worse than acknowledging to NBC's Lester Holt that he was thinking about Russia investigation when he fired then FBI Director James Comey. Do you want to know who wrote Wingless Angel? Trump and Putin talked about yoga and great. Exactly. Wingless Angel, we love you. And thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Wingless Angel. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Yeah, exactly. They talked about yoga and grandchildren. Exactly. I mean, and these are the people who are like, oh, there's no fake news. We're not the enemy of the people. How dare you? Yeah, the reporting of specific events. Yes. The reporting of events. You can't say that events, you know, in life didn't happen, or meetings didn't happen, or tragedies didn't happen, or, you know, geopolitical, you know, serious situations didn't happen. Yes, they all happened. Yeah, it's the spin. It's the spin, the constant whiplash and spin. Trump is a madman. He's crazy. He's crazy. Oh, the Kim Jong-un meeting where Moon Jae-in of South Korea and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, where they shook hands and they hugged each other, and there was détente, and there was, you know, an easing of tensions, and now there can be the beginning of peace. Oh, that's not a big deal. Well, wait a second. I thought you said that we were all going to, you know, we were all going to just die from Trump. So, Wingless Angel, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you for watching. So it's like, okay, that tweet was awful for Trump. Not really. And gives and a gift to prosecutors in several respects. No, it's not. They can't. They're having a tough time with Manafort, and he actually did commit crimes. Manafort actually did commit crimes. And the big thing is like, oh my God, look at his ostrich skin jacket. His ostrich skin jacket. He's wearing a $15,000 ostrich skin jacket. He's a maniac. He's Charles Manson. And the Judge Ellis is like, look, you're going to have to go ahead and get Rick Gates to testify. Otherwise, you're going to lose. Just like Clinton lost in the election. And Rick Gates is like, yeah, I don't want to testify. Because he's stupid. He's stupid. They can turn on him even with immunity. Let's say there's some kind of new, let's say he doesn't lead to the conviction, and they blame Rick Gates for being a bad witness. So then they go after him. I mean, the whole thing is just it's so sad, and it's so ridiculous too, because they can't win. Nothing they can do. And you hear this spin. The spin is like, the spin now is just primarily, it's just trying to blow a lot of smoke in the guise of enthusiasm and passion. The tweet was awful for Trump. Most importantly, Trump confirmed that he confirmed that the meeting, who cares? With Russians. It wasn't with Russians. It was with an attorney that was allowed into the country by Loretta Lynch. That's according to The Hill. By Obama's DOJ. John Smith. Oh my God. Nick Fuentes' little brother is missing after the Portland rally. He is only 12. Please, everyone, put the word out. Oh my God. Nick Fuentes' little brother is missing after the Portland rally. He's only 12. Please, everyone, put the word out. My God. Let's see. Is this in the news? All right. So John Smith, thank you, and please everyone read what he just wrote. Wow, it's horrible. So that arguably would violate federal law prohibiting a candidate from asking for or receiving something of value from a foreign national. What? Something of value? No, it wouldn't. Hillary Clinton purchased the Steele dossier. She received something of value. She actually paid for it. And it was funded by Russian operatives. Where is the logic? The logic only works one way for liberal, journalists, only one way. Put it this way, the most powerful evidence that Donald Trump Jr. violated campaign law comes from Donald Trump's own email. Really? I love it. Trump Jr.'s in anticipation of Trump Tower dirt finding meeting. Why can't he say I love it? And his own father's tweet, like father, like son. No, my God, there's enough evidence within the DNC and Podesta emails to put a whole bunch of people in prison. If you want to talk about emails, Bill Clinton had 500 conflicts of interest, running a $1 billion charitable foundation. That's within the DNC emails. President Obama knew of the server. That's another lie he told. And if he knew, this is not even theoretically, if he knew that Hillary Clinton was transferring top secret intelligence, then he's also implicated in the Espionage Act charges that she should have received. Now, President Obama will never be charged, ever. Ever. I do think that Hillary, I am virtually certain that Hillary will be charged for a crime. Pick a crime, any crime. She actually committed serious crimes. This is like Disneyland, like nothing. She actually committed the crime. If they think that colluding with Russia is a crime, Clinton did that also, but they don't care. So they're falling back on three people, Comey, Clapper, and Brennan, who hate Trump. And because of that, it's like, and then Peter Strzok, yeah, exactly, biased beyond belief. So we're going to see all of this come unraveling. It's all going to come completely unraveled very soon. Trump fails to understand that the very meeting is acknowledging is collusion. No, it's not. It's not collusion. He didn't get anything. Hillary Clinton's emails, it is illegal for her to have used the server. And if indeed he was able to get the emails, that would have shown that her server was hacked. This all leads back to the actual criminal behavior. There is a statute. There's no statute for meeting with somebody for someone else's emails. Hillary Clinton's emails, by the way, are not national security, or they are national security. If they are, she should be in prison right now. If Trump Jr. was trying to get Clinton's SAP intelligence, that's a problem. But then, of course, it would lead back to Clinton, and that would also highlight the fact that she should have been charged with a crime. She had emails on an unencrypted server. It was unencrypted for close to 6 months. It was unencrypted for close to 6 months, and then they go ahead and say, well, how dare Trump Jr. ask for those emails that should never have been outside the U.S. government? Yeah, that's the point. They should never have been outside the U.S. government. That's the point. Actually, you're highlighting Clinton's criminal behavior, not so much Trump Jr.'s. Then they say, well, oh my God, when he told Russia to hack her emails, then they tried to, they not only tried to then, they tried to all the time. And in my book about her top secret emails, I explain exactly the times that countries did, or the times when she visited certain countries. And you can see in the book that I wrote about her top secret emails on Amazon. For $3.99, you pretty much both but her top secret emails and but her deleted emails, you get almost everything there is to know about all of this. And it foreshadows a lot of what we're finding out. And then they sing campaign finance laws. Well, where is there a campaign finance law that allows purchasing a Steele dossier that is complete and utter nonsense? And where is the protocol in the FBI that says you can start an investigation based on a gossip document? Because then, you know what? All Trump has to do is find a Steele dossier for the next Democratic candidate, an unexplained leak or whatever, if you could say hack, and then blame the Democratic Party, and then start an investigation. That's all they have to do. The emails also suggest that Trump Jr. allegedly was drafting help from his father, trying to conceal the true purpose of the meeting with false cover story. It was all about adoption, you see. Well, yeah, it was all about adoption. That's why those people were there. According to news reports, Trump Jr. may have also lied to Congress by suggesting his father was not immediately involved in drafting the false written statement. So what they're doing is there's no crime in the meeting, but what they're doing is then all the minutia. Well, did he really mean this? Well, did he really mean that? Hillary Clinton didn't know what the C meant. She didn't know what confidential meant. She didn't know that a server outside the United States government is against the law. She literally said, Loretta Lynch literally said, we spoke about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. Golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. Trump's insistence that the meeting was perfectly legal and perfectly normal is wrong on both counts. No, it's not. It's actually right on both counts. No presidential campaign has gone to a hostile power. How are they a hostile power when you could be right, John Smith? You could be right about that. Or until after the midterms here. But I agree with you. It could be after he gains his second term. Thank you, One Stone Rock. Thank you, One Stone Rock. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, that's possible, John Smith. And I agree with you. That could, I mean, the midterms is going to be very interesting because once Democrats lose miserably, when they will, and I stated that on RT, and when it happens, I'll go ahead and just replay that for everyone to see. My last RT appearance on Spygate Crosstalk. Once that happens, Republicans will consolidate their power. They'll move more towards Trump, and Comey and Brennan and Clapper and Strzok and all of them. There's like 8 FBI agents thus far named, or they're named or they're anonymous in the IG report. They're all going to go down. The Office of Professional Responsibility is already looking at them. Then you have an independent investigation about Strzok. Then you have the ongoing DOJ email probe, the ongoing Clinton Foundation probe, and the FBI. So when Christopher Wray says, "Well, no, we're not going to relitigate the email probe," well, they are looking at the Clinton Foundation probe. They are investigating the Clinton Foundation, which is essentially the email probe. I explained about her deleted emails. She deleted emails. Conspiracy would be a crime. There's no conspiracy for anything. A conspiracy to commit a crime that's illegal, but there's no conspiracy to commit any crimes here. The political implication of Trump's latest confessions, it's not a confession, it's a statement. Will the rest of the GOP go along with the position that it was perfectly fine for Russia to help Trump? But first of all, where's the link between any of the people Trump Jr. met and Putin? Because Bill Clinton actually met with Putin. Bill Clinton actually met with Putin during the uranium sale. Cash flowed into the Clinton Foundation amid the uranium sale. An FBI informant actually stated that Russian lobbyists were bragging about their influence in the Clinton Foundation. So, I mean, it's like, Where is this? Where is the evidence of an actual crime or something taking place that actually helped Russia? Why would Russia want Trump when they already got everything they needed from President Obama? And in terms of being compromised, you had Bill Clinton, who already met with Vladimir Putin. He already spoke at a Moscow investment bank, Renaissance Capital, for $500 grand. You couldn't get more compromised than Hillary. You couldn't get more compromised the entire Democratic Party to use servers outside the U.S. government. It's Awan Brothers, Platte River, Dado Inc., Fusion GPS, CrowdStrike. Their forte is outsourcing really sensitive material, so the U.S. government doesn't have a handle on it. That's why they didn't trust the government with their servers. That sure would be a change from no collusion. How could there have been collusion when, first of all, it's not collusion. Clinton, this is something that people don't get on the left also. The Washington Post. Clinton's emails and the DNC are not the U.S. government. Well, let's assume that it was the yoga emails. Clinton's deleted emails are said to be yoga, so we'll just go ahead and assume there's no classified intelligence there, because we know that the FBI stated that she put a laptop with a thumb drive in the mail. They just shipped a laptop with all her emails without even ensuring the computer didn't have all her emails. I mean, you couldn't get, this is like a comedy of errors beyond, you couldn't even make this stuff up. You could not make this stuff up. And the political implications of Trump's latest confession are quite stunning. And then okay, no presidential campaign has gone to a hostile power for help in winning an election, except Clinton, who bought the Steele dossier. I mean, what is this amnesia? Where does this amnesia come from? Where does this political amnesia come from? It's very bizarre. Like, we already know that she purchased the Steele dossier with, by the way, you want to talk about campaign finance violations. You have a DNC fraud lawsuit going on from Jared Beck, Elizabeth Beck, and Nico House. $200 million stolen. $200 million stolen from Bernie Sanders voters. And then they funnel the money through a law firm. That same law firm, by the way, is going after Jim Jordan on a frivolous lawsuit, saying that he should have known about abuse in Ohio State, when there's like 20, 30 pictures of Harvey Weinstein hugging and laughing with Hillary Clinton. What about it? She should have known. You want to go there? No presidential campaign has gone to a hostile foreign power for help in winning an election, except Hillary, who actually purchased the Steele dossier with help from Russian sources. And she actually obtained the Steele dossier, and she actually paid for, and there were actual Russian sources. Natalia Veselnitskaya was allowed into the country by Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and she met before and after with Fusion GPS's Glenn Simpson. The whole thing is so stupid. It's so easily debunked. The political implications of Trump's latest confession are quite stunning. Will the rest of the GOP go along? Yeah, they will, because they're not stupid. That would sure be a change from no collusion to collusion. So what? No, there was no collusion. He did not call Putin or any intelligence agencies. You have yet to make a link between Natalia Veselnitskaya and anyone there. They just happen to be Russian. I mean, you talk about the height of xenophobia. Tamara Friedman. We're not dealing with regular people. They're professional criminals and psychopaths, pretty much. Pretty much. You're right. Who started this? Hillary Clinton started this with the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier started everything, Austin. The Steele dossier and the stupid, dumb, drunk conversation between Alexander Dumbo Downer and Papadopoulos. Well, if you want to go back, GCHQ started spying on Trump because of suspicious activity. And nobody found anything. This was in 2015. Tamara Friedman. Tamara Friedman, thank you. Yes, you're right. They are. Well, Hillary's a professional criminal. She takes criminality to new heights. The reason is because she's so sloppy. She's like a sloppy drunk that comes to work and barfs all over the place, but then that gets a raise. It's like, oh, wow. Thank you, Tamara Friedman. Exactly. They are professional criminals, and many of them are psychopaths. I don't know how a major political party can maintain the view that hostile powers. Russia suddenly became a hostile power? When Obama told Medvedev that, oh, well, I'll have more leeway. This is a hot mic. Obama's hot mic was actually a greater threat to national security if you take was actually a lot more consequential than Trump's hot mic. Carte blanche to influence our elections. He didn't even get the emails. And if he got the emails, that would have showed that her server was hacked. Either way, it points back to Clinton. Every Republican in elected office. This is actually a good segment. Share this segment when it's done, or you can share it now. You can just go ahead and share it on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram if you're on there. Every Republican in elected office or on the ballot should be asked his or her view on the matter. Yeah, right. And then every Democrat should be asked about the Steele dossier, James Comey exonerating Clinton, Clinton using a private server to store top secret and special access program intelligence, Bernie being cheated, and the Steele dossier being an example of collusion, which it absolutely was. The notion that collusion with a hostile power is no big deal is so preposterous and unpalatable. Then why did Hillary purchase the Steele dossier? With Christopher Steele, the only reason, the whole big thing with Christopher Steele was that he was this big guy. He was this, oh my God, this respected MI6 agent with ties to Russian intelligence or Russian intelligence, Russian operatives. You would think Republicans would not dare try to defend Trump at this point, but this crowd, they might just try it. Yeah, they will. And the Washington Post knows very well. The Republicans will. The Washington Post knows very well. Tamara Friedman, thank you. A Sojourner, Amnesia, no, it's purposeful misdirection. If Mueller wanted answers, Assange would have immunity. Exactly. That's very good. You're right. And testify, and the FBI would have a DNC service. Absolutely, A Sojourner, you're 100% right. You're 100% right, A Sojourner. A Sojourner, you're 100% right. Tamara Friedman, thank you. David Masker, do you think that all these high-profile criminals are going to get a slap on the wrist or private trials or military tribunals? Love HA. Thank you so much, David. Well, no military tribunals because these are civilians. There won't be military tribunals and there won't be private trials. What will take place is, like a moth to a flame, Hillary will do something insane and she won't be able to get out of it. Or she'll just, get the indictments that she deserved from owning a private server outside the United States government with top secret intelligence that was hacked by the entire planet, including a foreign entity, not Russia, according to Louis Gohmert and the Inspector General Charles McAuliffe before Michael Horowitz, the recent Inspector General. So, David, if I don't know if all of them are going to get, I can only say that Hillary will. I have no idea. I think that Andrew McCabe will get indicted. I think James Comey will eventually get indicted. Something will happen to Comey regarding the Comey memos. He just, gave classified intelligence. 4 of the 7 memos were classified. So 4 of the 7 were classified, and he wrote them on an FBI computer. So I think some will get a slap on the wrist, but I think a lot of them will get indicted. I think a lot of them will eventually, once that happens, ladies and gentlemen, and we were being vindicated all the time, once that happens, it's game over politically. David Masker, thank you. Thank you. That's a great question. I mean, I think that, I mean, you look at, okay, so David, let's look at, okay, you have Hillary Clinton who will eventually get charged with a crime. She's just like a walking criminal, and everyone knows it, even the Democrats. I don't think she'll ever go to jail, Droid Mod. I don't think she'll ever go to prison, but she will get charged. I think that James Comey, Andrew McCabe, Peter Strzok, I think that the Office of Professional Responsibility will lay the groundwork for serious charges against them. A lot of this stuff is not like you can't have a functioning government with gossip leading to investigations. Like this is we're now at self-preservation mode. This is beyond politics now. You can't well, no, I don't see Clinton going to prison. I see that her being charged for sure. She's not going to go to prison. Because I think that, something either Trump pardons her or, something, but I do think that she will be charged. Absolutely. So Hillary will be indicted on something. Because you can't have a functioning government. This is important. You can't have a functioning government with gossip and hearsay being utilized to start investigations, and you can't have the intelligence community pick on a candidate and say that, well, you can't have the intelligence community blame a country for hacking something that wasn't even part of the government. The DNC is not part of the United States government. DNC is a private organization. That's what they kept saying when they cheated Bernie Sanders. They're like, we're a private organization. And when you look at Vanity Fair, was it Vanity Fair? So let's see. How ex-spy Christopher Steele compiled his explosive dossier. Okay, so the man behind the infamous dossier is expert Christopher Steele, formerly MI6. Here's the story of his investigation. This is April 2017. And he made a call to London, a partner at Orbis he had worked with the past year, an ex-spy he knew, where all the bodies were buried in Russia, and who, as the wags like to joke, had even buried some of them. Okay. Wow, there's such intrigue. Steele had known Russia as a young spy, arriving in Moscow as a 26-year-old. This guy has destroyed his legacy, destroyed his reputation. So here we have, and here's the actual. This is actually in. You want to talk about collusion with Russia, and so as Steele threw himself into his new mission, he could count on an army of sources whose loyalty and information he had bought and paid for over the years. If you buy someone's loyalty, they're not loyal. They're selling you something. You don't sell loyalty. So everyone got played, just like the Democratic Party always gets played. That's all they do is get played. They're a bunch of imbeciles. They're a bunch of self-righteous imbeciles, and they're going to be like the whole planet's going to laugh at them again after the midterms. It'll be so rewarding. They're not going to get the blue wave. They're not even going to get, they need 24. So hold on, let's go ahead and see. I'll continue reading this. Wow. So let's see. Also, as Steele threw himself into his new mission, he could count on an army of sources whose loyalty and information he had bought and paid for over the years. There was no safe way he could return to Russia to do the actual digging. So he didn't even go to Russia. I've stated that many times. The vengeful FSB would be watching him closely. But no doubt he had a working relationship with knowledgeable contacts in London and elsewhere in the West, from angry immigrants. So this was all people. The Steele dossier started not even with from angry emigres to wheeling and dealing oligarchs, always eager to curry favor with a man with ties to the Secret Service, to political dissidents with well-honed access to grind. He'd direct from his London desk assets who had their eyes and ears on the ground in Russia. Tell me again how this is not collusion. So Clinton collusion, that's the statement right there. He would direct from his desk, Christopher Steele, from his desk, assets who had their eyes and ears on the ground in Russia. It's so stupid. The whole thing is so easily debunked. I mean, you have people who are basically, you talk about one meeting with one person, and here's the guy who's like, "Oh, I have my years and years of contacts with Russians who know Trump." Like, how is that not a greater example of collusion with a foreign country? It just makes no it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. How good were these sources? Consider what Steele would write in the memos he filed with Simpson. Source A, to use the careful nomenclature of his dossier, was a senior Russian ministry figure. Source B was a former intelligence officer still active in the Kremlin. Somebody tell the Washington Post that Hillary actually used actual people, as allegedly, that were still in the government. This is Vanity Fair. Like, all you have to do is debunk. See, this is when they were proud of the Steele dossier and its ties to Russia. Source E was an ethnic Russian with close association to Trump. Then the Russian regime had been behind the recent leaks of embarrassing emails. No, it wasn't embarrassing. It showed fraud. That's different. That's criminal behavior. When it's Hillary, it's criminal behavior, not embarrassing. I love the way they just tidy up everything. Well, it's just embarrassing. It's just embarrassing emails, And here's the actual article. So here you have exactly what the Washington Post was talking about, except this isn't a lawyer that was allowed into the country. This was you're talking about Russian operatives. And this is an article by Howard Bloom in Vanity Fair. Documents everything. Documents everything. Excuse me. Here is the Vanity Fair article. I just sent it out. Also, on a warm day last June. So it's like, source D, and then these two sources told quite. These are not sources. We have a golden shower. The two sources told quite a lurid story, the now infamous golden shower allegation. But the thing is, you could easily do this with anyone, not just Democrats. You can do this with anyone, any human being. You could say, well, here's a dossier. I paid people who hate you. And those people happen to come from a certain country that you visited. And you should be fired and investigated by the FBI. Oh, and by the way, you were looked at by the FBI and GCHQ. But where's the evidence? Who cares? You had known people who were suspicious. Well, where's the evidence? I did anything wrong. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You have all this gossip and hearsay against you, and we're going to start this probe, and that's it. The whole thing is absurd. And that's also the thing. It's like, how stupid do you have to be? Because then you got the FBI working with, what should he do? Steele dutifully filed his first incendiary report with Fusion on June 20th. But this was the end. This was the end? He knew that what he had unearthed, he'd say in his anonymous conversations with Mother Jones. Not so anonymous. We know who the Mother Jones reporters are. Was something of huge significance, way above party politics. How could it be way above party politics if you're paid by Clinton? How does that even work? How on earth does that even work? Oh yeah, this is way above party politics. Really? How so? Well, it was paid by Hillary Clinton. So ridiculous. You know, it's like, where are the standards? Do we have we lost any standards of decency? Yes. And this is derived not from, this is Bill and Hillary Clinton and their stranglehold of the Democratic Party. Their maniacal quest for power, it's like beyond, they commit all these crimes. They go ahead, money goes into the Clinton Foundation, and there's pay to play, weapons deals, uranium, Boeing, UBS, Haiti, Chicago commodities trader, all coincidence. 85 donors giving $156 million, all coincidence. And oh, by the way, she purchased the Steele dossier. This never used to happen in American politics. Why Russia loves Trump? Oh my God. Well, he didn't sell uranium. So now BuzzFeed is suing the DNC. So BuzzFeed, that's the Hill. BuzzFeed suing DNC info over info tied to Trump dossier. BuzzFeed is suing the Democratic National Committee to get the committee to turn over information related to the so-called Steele dossier in an effort to bolster its defense in a lawsuit related to the dossier. The news outlet is facing a lawsuit from Alexei Gubarev, a Russian businessman who claimed he was libeled when the news outlet published the dossier last year. Well, it's the definition of libel when you publish something and you say it is unverified. This is the Hill. This is the Hill. Where's the evidence? One thing that Bill and Hillary have done is they've, from a private server to what is, do you remember what is? Let's listen to Bill.
Utterly false statement. It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Yes. Is that correct? Well, it depends on what the meaning of the word is. Is. What is the meaning of the word is? If is means is and never has been, then it's not. This is one thing. If it means is none, that was a complete true statement. Now, if someone had, so it's like, now if someone had me ask on that day, are you having any kind of relations with Miss Lewinsky? That is, ask me a question in the present tense, I would have said no, and it would have been completely true. This is the type of thing that like a kid, like an adolescent does. And like the parents, like, you know, they're like, yeah, give me a break. So this is the type of people we're dealing with. I mean, my thing is like, at what point this is not sustainable, ladies and gentlemen. So to the 600 people watching, thank you, Mr. T. Thank you. A sojourner, your wisdom is the POTUS is meeting with Black pastors and community leaders from inner cities to find real ways to help to help in prison reform. Exactly. Let me get to that in a second. And I thought it was wonderful. You know, even though like I do understand, like, you know, I get the I respect people who are agnostic or atheist. I do. I'm pretty much agnostic philosophically. I do hope that God exists. But but I found it beautiful that Trump passed their prayer. Beautiful just because it pisses off the left as well. So that's also anything that pisses off the left, I am for down 100%.
Well, thank you very much. It's my great honor to be here today with some of the leading pastors and our hearts with special people. I don't even know if you know that, but you're very special people. You're admired by everybody in this country.
Oh my God, what an ogre! What a monster!
Even if they're not believers, most of them admire what you're doing. But maybe we'll make them believers, right? And I'd like to ask John Gray if you could just start off with a prayer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, John.
God, we thank you for an opportunity to speak about the hearts of those who sometimes cannot fight for themselves. Thank you for this moment to be able to share our hearts with the president and his administration. Dr. King said, we cannot influence a table that we are not seated at. So we pray that this conversation will be fruitful and productive and honoring of the best traditions of this nation. We further pray that you will continue to give wisdom and insight to our president and his leadership team to be what our nation needs to build this country from the inside out, that we will continue to be a beacon of hope and light around this world. Bless his family, bless his health, and everything that he puts his hands to do. This is our prayer, and bless our time together. Jesus, in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jim. I think he's done that before.
How is Trump a madman? I want to know, like, how is this president some madman racist? Because he insulted LeBron James? Because he made a statement that was completely taken out of context in Charlottesville? He didn't say both sides were equal in terms of value system and in terms of morality. He was talking about the physical altercations, and he wasn't even talking about the neo-Nazis and the Klan members and all the crazies. And 30% of Latinos voted for him. Hillary Clinton said the most vile things about African Americans. Hillary Clinton called Mahatma Gandhi a gas station attendant. The most racist thing would be to believe that all African Americans, all Latinos, believe what Slate believes what, MSNBC believes. Let's listen to that again.
From a lot. Like you said, 6 of them are better than anybody else he has. I don't think that's a bad percentage, right? And he's a fan, and a lot of people are becoming fans. We passed the First Step Act in everybody. We cannot have opportunity to have safety. We're working every day with local and federal law enforcement.
Every ethnic group in the country. Alexander M. Gonzalez, my opinion, if God existed, everyone would know it. Well, Alexander, that's actually a very profound statement. And I agree with you. That's one of the problems that I have or have had. But a lot of people do believe that, or know it, or / believe it. Then there's the issue of, how can God allow genocides to take place? Mass slaughter. That's a really profound sentiment, Alexander M. Gonzalez. And I do see, I see what you mean. Let's listen to this again.
To reduce violent crime all over the country. I mean, you look all over the world, you think, but all over our country, and the numbers are going down. Every American child should be able to grow up in a safe community, surrounded by a loving family with access to a great education that leads to a lifelong career and success and all of the things that go with great success. We also underscore the crucial importance of faith in fostering strong families and communities. And I just want to again thank you all for being here, and you're very special people. I don't even know if you know that, but you're very special people. You're admired by everybody in this country. Even if they're not believers, most of them admire what you're doing. But maybe we'll make them believers, right? And I'd like to ask John Gray if we might, if you could just...
Could you imagine President Obama in a prayer? Could you imagine, Bush, he does his thing and he blows up countries. Lum, Trump isn't racist. It's not good business. And I also don't think that he's racist in his heart. What people don't like about him is that they don't like what they think he stands for. But the actual people who, want like a white nation or whatever, they don't like Trump. Like they don't think Trump helps them at all. They think Trump is just, another side of Clinton. I know because I debated Richard Spencer. And I believe I defeated him in the debate. I had the opposing viewpoint. And in a way, I was representing the left. People on the left were too cowardly and too perhaps intellectually, I don't know. I don't know what to say. They don't debate. They're not capable of a debate. So I debated Richard Spencer and I presented the opposite viewpoint. And I got him to admit exactly what would take place in a theoretical state. He couldn't even explain really. I mean, I didn't press him, but I've seen him. He can't even explain what white is. Nobody even knows what white is. Michael C., should he declassify everything right before the midterms or would it backfire? Not before the midterms, but after the midterms. Or, you know what? I mean, he should declassify certain things before the midterms. Not everything, but certain things. Chicago heating up is anti-gun forces plot and panic, running out of time, so cranking up the gain. The people are going to move. People are moving towards like how I evolved from Bernie to Trump. That more people are going to move that way. So especially in terms of the Second Amendment, when I go to the range, the outdoor range, I see everybody. I see people from the Middle East or Middle East Americans who are of all different backgrounds and ethnicities and races. And everyone's happy because like it's like a catharsis and everyone's super happy to go ahead and just point down range and, marksmanship and just have fun and, pay attention and just enjoy the Second Amendment. They just enjoy themselves. But let's just listen to this real quick.
Start off with a prayer. Thank you, John.
God, we thank you for an opportunity to speak about the hearts of those who sometimes cannot fight for themselves. Thank you for this moment to be able to share our hearts with the president and his administration. Dr. King said, we cannot influence a table that we are not seated at. And so we pray that this conversation will be fruitful and productive and honoring of the best traditions of this nation. We further pray that you will continue to give wisdom and insight to our president and his leadership team to be what our nation needs, to build this country from the inside out, that we will continue to be a beacon of hope and light around this world. Bless his family, bless his health, everything that he puts his hands to do. This is our prayer, and bless our time together. Jesus, in your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Jim.
So how could this guy be a madman? How is this the presidency of a person who has hate in his heart? What happened, ladies and gentlemen, is very simple. What happened, ladies and gentlemen, is very, very simple. Richard Kasparian. It's true. It does have a nice smell. What happened, ladies and gentlemen, is very simple. In the Bernie Sanders movement of 2015, 2016, there was passion, there was energy regarding breaking up too big to fail banks, regarding reinstating Glass-Steagall, regarding bringing home soldiers, regarding ending quagmires and regime changes, and shaking up the system. Now, there's a different type of shaking up of the system. Now you have tariffs that are working. You have manufacturing jobs. You have record low unemployments for Black and Latinos, Blacks and Latinos and minorities in this country. We have an economy booming at 4.1% GDP growth. We have peace between, hopefully, the start of peace between North and South Korea, something that was unthinkable. And we have the complete and utter destruction of people like James Comey and Strzok and Brennan and all of them, the deep state. And it's happening under Trump. Different type of shock of the system, but it's happening. People did not like the way the system was running. And if you can't break up too big to fail banks with Bernie, well, then you know what? Corrupt FBI agents with Trump and an end to regime change with Trump is good enough for me. Exactly, Janet. I agree with you. David Masker, yes. Thank you so much, David. Do you think the Dems will throw in an independent that can split the Republican vote to help the Dem nominee like Ross Perot during the Bill Clinton-Bush campaign? I think that could be. That's pretty, very astute observation. They could try to do that, but see, the conservatives don't really have anyone that Trump doesn't have. He has weaknesses, but he doesn't have really a policy weakness on the right, because people on the right, the real anti-war movement is not on the left. The left just hates Israel. That's like the only, anti-war movement they have. Trump actually cares about bringing home soldiers. He actually stated that before the Syria, before the coincidence in Syria. But I mean, that's an interesting thought, David. I think that there is an element to Trump's personality also that galvanizes people. People don't like polished liars anymore. And what Trump lies about, or what Trump, whether it's crowd size, or if you want to say, well, there's no evidence about the illegal immigrants giving Hillary the popular vote, that's not national security. So it's not like President Obama saying, oh, well, my biggest mistake was Libya. No, it wasn't just a mistake. I don't even know what that question means. Handsome Truth 6. I don't even know what that question means. I don't know what the question means. But I'm not a truther channel, no. I don't think you could categorize me as a truther channel. The other phrase, I'm not exactly sure what that means. Yes. The best is getting paid for the insult. That's always good. So let's just continue with Trump a little bit.
I think he's done that before. Maybe we could go around the room and we'll start, well, my friend, from the beginning.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And maybe I just say a couple of words.
I'm so blessed and honored to be here and to be able to pray right here in the White House. And the most recent thing I've noticed that you've done so many things that were great. Everybody expects me to talk about the life and the babies, and I could do that. But you opening up the steel mills. And I lived across the street past us in front of the steel mill in Birmingham. Now, that's when they were bombing us and everything. But the people were at work. So they could go to church, they could get pies, they had pretty dresses, wear on Sunday, and they weren't hungry. So you said you were going to reopen those steel mills.
They're opening.
I'll leave it at that. I won't take too much
The
time.
dumping is stopping. You know,
I saw that.
the dumping is stopping and the steel mills are opening.
Yes.
United States Steel just announced another 2 plants.
So the steel mills are opening. So David, thank you. I don't think that there will be anything like that, because there's no the third party will hurt Democrats more, because there are policies that are oriented more towards third parties on the Democrat side. The third party policy that would hurt, like it would hurt an establishment Republican if there was somebody on the right saying, no, bring home our soldiers, or no, end regime change. But Trump is saying end regime change. So Charlie DeLong, that's a great, I don't understand all the anti-Jewish comments on YouTube. You see it on all channels. Charlie, I think that what it is, it's an easy, anti-Semitic comments are like an easy thing. Because I do my thing with the H.A. Goodman, parentheses. So you get like, you get the kind of people that it's just an easy troll. I guess hating on any group is an easy troll. It's easy to troll just hating on any group. I like Chinese food. I love Chinese food. All right, so that's the thing also, like, the pure Ryan Couture, Trump is too tough on Russia. Well, I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. I wouldn't be as tough. But then again, you have maniacal Democrats who are like, we have to be tough. We have to be tough. Democrats have lost their minds. That's the thing also. Like, one thing I'm really happy about is that when I never imagined, there was a time when even the sight of a firearm I wasn't comfortable with. Even though, like, growing up, I would shoot like BB guns with friends. This was a different time period in LA. And it was just like we'd just shoot BB guns at model airplanes. We'd like string up a model airplane and then shoot a BB gun at it from like 30 feet or whatever. And like periodically over the years, like I went clay shooting like 6-7 years ago, and it would go to the range, but it would be like once every like 10 years or 7 years, something like that. And now ladies and gentlemen, I would not have 4 firearm purchases in like 6 months. Less than that. 5 months. 4 firearm purchases. Well, like, yeah. And I would not be a member of the NRA and Gun Owners of America. I wouldn't have been retweeted by the NRA were it not for the maniacal, insane zealots on the left that pushed me from like everybody from like trying to threaten me to just the nonsense. Like, and then my friends who are really like, one guy's great person, awesome person, actually went with me clay shooting. And by the way, like liberals, they hunt also, and they own guns. There's a lot of hypocrisy there. Anyway, don't get me started on that. But one of my buddies was like, yeah, if I could, I would erase the Second Amendment. I had never heard that before. Handsome Truth 5. Why don't you mention the Talpiot program? Israel is stealing U.S. military technology. So what am I supposed to do? I'm an American citizen. And what should I do? I haven't heard of that, but okay. I know that there's a pretty close relationship in terms of special forces and in terms of a military relationship, also in terms of technology as well. So, between both countries. But why would I mention that if I'm talking about the Trump Jr. meeting? I don't understand. Because I'm Jewish? I also don't mention lox and bagels this segment. But Handsome Truth 5, thank you. Thank you, Handsome Truth 5. Thank you. But if it, okay, sounds good. Thank you, Handsome Truth 5. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. This is insane. I'm being pushed towards the Second Amendment. I felt the push. Like, I felt the push. I felt like, wait a second, I'm an American. Why can't I have freedom of speech? Like, you know, I've written books and I've written hundreds of articles and I have my YouTube channel. And so I take advantage of the First Amendment. Why can't I also take advantage of Tamara Friedman? Here we go. Why can't I take advantage of the Second Amendment? And so it was such a beautiful journey, you know. And I remember like months and months back. And the thing is, like, a lot of this is crazy too, because there was an instructor in Burbank that taught me, and I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you 20 years ago, and I still, it does. Deputy Dog does. But check it out. 20 years ago, I took a course from this man. 20 years ago, and like a lot of the things he taught me just stuck in my brain for 20 years. And then when I did the instructional courses again, I was like, you know, it all came back to me. So now it's like, I'm enjoying myself, and I realize that, wait a second. Somebody does something horrible, there should be somebody good, trained there to prevent that person. And somebody tries to dox me, I'm not worried. I'd be more worried about the person's health. Not really. But that's the thing. Second Amendment. If you protect your family with firearms, somebody doxes you, it's like, okay, well, it's not good for your health, so think twice. 7.62, 5.56. It's also fun. That's the thing. Also, people liberals only like what they like. They only like what they like. That's like the thing, is like their version of fun must be everyone's version of fun. By the way, comedy sucks now. Have you noticed that comedy is like, I mean, Kevin Hart is good. I like Kevin Hart, but not like, it's nothing like Richard Pryor. It's nothing like Dave Chappelle. Nothing like that. Definitely nothing like Eddie Murphy. Everything that liberals touched, like, you know, but it's like there is an empowerment in the Second Amendment. For example, ladies and gentlemen, there was somebody who was saying to me, well, oh, Lord. Okay, enough. My God almighty. Thank you, though. David Masker, why are we not hearing more on China, who actually did the DNC hacking? Yeah, well, that's the thing. The DNC was never hacked. It was almost certainly a leak based on the forensic evidence, or we've yet to see, David, we've yet to see any evidence that it was hacked. And furthermore, I agree with you. By the way, like, I don't find China a threat at all. You know, like, people are saying, like, China's the next big threat. China's the next big threat. He's the next big threat. Like, I don't find China the next big threat. I don't find China. I love Roseanne Barr, by the way. I know there's people talking about Roseanne Barr. I love Roseanne Barr. I think she's absolutely a legend. She's brilliant. But David, like, a lot of people are like saying, like, first of all, you're right. I think, David, that China did hack her emails. So that did happen. That did happen. So China, and we know that from oh, Lord. Come on. Oh my God. Oh my God. Please. Oh Eric, thank you, Eric. It's like this is about the Trump Jr. meeting, you know. There's nothing I can do. I don't speak for all Jewish people. I just speak for me. It's like there's nothing I can do. Tamara Friedman and I don't speak for all the Jewish people in the world. You know, I don't speak for all the Jewish people in the world. Then the guy's like, you should say this. It's like, I'm talking about Trump Jr. I'm talking about Trump Jr. Cameras are awesome. Do you think China is a threat considering GDP? I think they're a competitor, for sure. I think that there could be, you say, a threat or a danger in the context of maybe stealing intellectual property. You know, like China has like zero interest in a military confrontation. Like zero interest. We're the ones who are like, oh, those are not your islands. They might not be China's islands. They might be the islands of the Philippines or Japan or, Indonesia. But that's for the Philippines and Japan and Indonesia to work out with China. I think that cameras are awesome, and you think cameras are awesome. Remember when you actually put film in cameras? I remember that. I don't know. I like old school things. Remember when there were payphones? Remember payphones? I like payphones. Now there's no payphones, and if you see a payphone in LA, there's like someone pooping in it. Just joking, but. Nice. Cameras are awesome. Yeah. I had a beeper. Yep, I had a beeper. I missed the super chat. Winchester lever gun was and is okay. Papa D. Yeah, the lever guns are awesome. Down the road, I'll get a an M1A. The 308 down the road. They're kind of pricey, but they look really, really awesome. They're completely California compliant, completely, because it's just like a traditional, very traditional rifle platform. Like if I had a big ranch, I'd have a whole bunch of them. And my AR and my AK and stuff. But if I had a giant ranch, I would think that one would want an M1A. I think the thing with China is that ultimately their economy and our economy is so intertwined. I don't see a big confrontation. And on the flip side, Russia's economy is nowhere near our economy, the 12th, 13th ranked economy in the world. So it's like there's no confrontation there. Exactly, a sojourner. Exactly. A newsflash, every major country in the world meddles in each other's elections. Well, we meddled in the French election. Colt 45. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of there's one Heckler and Koch that when is it? One day. It's so expensive though. One day I'll go ahead and I forgot which model it was. I think it's the 45 ACP anyway. So let's see. So Wingless Angel just bought Nintendo. Nice. Hey, just bought Nintendo NES. Wingless Angel, follow Eric H526. He is into he has a video game channel. Wingless Angel. Eric H526, give Wingless Angel your Twitter, how to get you on Twitter. So I think he probably knows a lot about the Nintendo NES as well. Excellent. Wingless Angel. Clara Nielsen, much love from Vegas. I love Vegas. Clara Nielsen, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. Thank you. David Masker, for what it's worth, I think Russia will be taken care of. China is the one we owe all the money to and have the giant manned army. Love you, HA. Thank you, David. Yeah, I mean, nobody is messing with China's army is obviously, in terms of manpower, the biggest, most impressive in the world. I believe they have a couple of aircraft carriers too. We have I believe 11 or 12. And after us, it's China in terms of aircraft carriers. David Masker, thank you. Oh, Lord. How did you come back? Handsome Truth for Jewish ADL censoring free speech online. Why aren't you saying anything? I'm talking about Trump Jr. and M1As. Last night I was talking about Lamborghinis. I cannot say everything there is to say. I'm just one Jew. I don't speak for all Jewish people, just me. And now this Jewish person is talking about Trump Jr. Love you, HA. I always have fun time on your channel. Thank you, Tamara Friedman. Thank you, Tamara Friedman. Thank you, Tamara, as always, for watching. Thank you. Thank you, Tamara. I won't talk about that letter. Don't worry. Thank you, Tamara Friedman. Thank you so much. Thank you, as always, for watching and always for supporting this channel. Jim Summers, HE, what's keeping you here in California? I'm doing everything I can to get out. Have you thought about it? You can go anywhere with your platform. That's true. That's true. Although I grew up, I'm from LA, so I have a lot of friends and family and stuff. Michael, the yarmulke that, so if I go to like synagogue, I'll wear it, but I don't wear it all the time like Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is religious. He wears it all the time, but it's called the yarmulke. In short, it's called kippah. Jim Summers, thank you. Yeah, so I'm from Los Angeles, so I'm kind of used to it. Scooter 513, thank you. Thank you, Scooter 513. Thank you. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Scooter 513. So let's go ahead. Scam likely. Exactly. Scam like China is the next mythical enemy of the deep state, much like the Islamic world was for the last 30 years. I agree with you. I remember third base, Liam Schick. I remember third base. Scam likely. I agree with you. I don't think that China is a danger to the country. I really don't. How many aircraft carriers does China have? So, okay, so hold on one second. We have 11. Italy has 2. It says China has 1. Interesting. I thought China had 2. Oh, they're going to have 3 soon. So under construction. Oh, okay. So under construction. Wait, never completed. Why would they? So why would I total in service? Let's do it. Under construction, China has 2 under construction. And we have 2 under construction to go to 13. Interesting. We have had 55 decommissioned aircraft carriers. How does that work? If you're in the Navy, let me know. Oh, no. Okay. How does that work? Michael, I think carriers are very important, actually. Because we're bombing the whole planet, so we need carriers to move our jets. How does that work? Well, the UK has 40 decommissioned. Okay. 55. So we have 11 in service. China has 1 in service. Russia has 1 in service. And they have 1 under construction. It's like, and this is the reason why I don't think anyone's going to be a threat to us. How much does it cost to run an aircraft carrier? Any guesses? Everybody guess right now. Everybody guess right now. No Sickle J. We should have pig wrestled 10-finger discount Hillary when she took the White House silverware. No Sickle J. Amish Space Force, since Trump has been negotiating with China, their stock market has lost 30% of its value. That's what a China-U.S. trade war would look like. Yep, I agree with you. But give me, so in the live chat, 50 billion a year, billions. Okay, so let's go ahead. How much? Let's find out. Because I think I remember the. So will cost 16 billion. Gerald R. Ford cost 16 billion. So the Gerald R. Ford cost 16 billion. But every year to maintain, well, now it says 13 billion here. How much? How much is the yearly cost of an aircraft carrier? The yearly cost. Scam likely. We have many smaller carriers that we built in World War II, and they were built out of freighter ships quickly. Interesting. So this is $2.5 million a day for the carrier group. But I want to go yearly. Oh, wow. So by So I'm sorry. I'm trying to find this. So instead of 13 billion just to go ahead and build it, and it says $2.5 million a day. Guess you could do the math on that, but reading a Forbes article now. Oh, Lord. All right. So, but it was now there's, this one is 14, it says 14.7 billion for Gerald R4. I think it went down to 3. So, $2 billion annually. The cost of building aircraft carriers for the last 10 years, is average. And it costs $6 million per day to operate a strike group. 6.5 million per day. So, Elizabeth Luker. Thank you, Elizabeth. Stopping in to say hello, everyone watching. Have a great week. Stay safe and blessed. Love you all. We love you, Elizabeth Luker. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth Luker. David Masker. China is not going to attack the U.S. They will go from at least 200 million strong. Well, yeah, I agree with you. They definitely would never attack the U.S. That's for sure. Absolutely. And I agree with you on that. Elizabeth Luker, thank you. David Masker, thank you. But that's the thing. I mean, the reason I bring that up is because the cost, the sheer cost is, it's unbelievable. And that's the thing. I mean, nobody realizes that just the sheer cost of an aircraft carrier and the fact that we have 11 of them and China eventually will have 3. That's still not. Russia only has 1. It's like there's no competition, but it's not so much. It's just a matter of money. It's not just that we have a great Navy and a great Air Force. It's just we have the money to build, endlessly these, extremely, extremely expensive that nobody can afford more than 1 aircraft carrier. We have 11. So it's like, and there's one, the Navy's most expensive aircraft carrier ever just got even more expensive. So scam likely. Escort carriers were smaller and slower with lower number of aircraft and were built from mercantile hulls. Aircraft carriers, 30,000 aircraft, 30,800 ships. Wow. Wow. And then that's not even getting into the That's not even getting into the Papa D, carriers and subs, no fuel, support sailors equals money. That's not even getting into the subs. How many subs do we have? We have like, well, definitely more than anyone else. $18. Submarines per nation. So China, we have 18. Oh, wow. They have 24 submarines by 2020. Interesting. Interesting. We can't let them be number one. Uh-oh. Undersea crisis. China will have nearly twice as many subs as the U.S. Uh-oh. Wait, we have 52 attack submarines. Sorry. Why did it say 18? Is on track to have 41 attack boats by 2029. The Chinese, meanwhile, could have at least 70. Dang. This is a national interest article. Yeah, 18, I think, is the biggest ones. Papa D, yeah. Trump carrier is bigger than Kim's. So now there's going to be submarine wars. I mean, in terms of not wars like actual wars. I'm talking about, building the submarine race. We have a compelling need for additional attack submarines. This is the national interest.org. Undersea crisis. China will have nearly twice as many subs. No. The threat in the undersea environment continues to go up. Vice Admiral Joseph Malloy, the service's deputy chief of naval operations. The U.S. Navy, which has roughly 52 attack submarines, is on track to have 41 boats by 2029. The Chinese, meanwhile, could have at least 70 in their building. So, and then the Business Insider, China's subs are worrying the region. U.S. and diving submarines. China's growing submarine forces armed to the teeth. And the rest of the Pacific is racing to keep up. So I started with aircraft carriers, and now we have a real problem with subs. You have to understand China stole a lot of military secrets. I'm sure. Thank you, David Masker. Thank you. Thank you, David. Countries in East Asia, led by China, have been pursuing a military buildup for years. Submarines, flexible platforms with strategic uses, have been a particular focus. So that makes sense for them. In October 2006, a Chinese Song-class diesel-electric submarine capable of carrying torpedoes and anti-ship missiles surfaced within firing range of the aircraft carrier USS Kitty Hawk. Some Navy officers interpreted it as a gotcha move. It was a warning from China that USS carrier groups could no longer expect to operate with impunity. Wow. Look at that. So it just surfaced up. And like, hey, look at us. We can go ahead and we're here. The U.S. still owns the undersea realm in the Western Pacific right now and is determined to maintain it. Since 2002, China has built 10 nuclear subs. So, yeah, that is. So that's another issue. But there was the issue of graft within the Chinese military. So, wow. There are people who there's so much corruption that Xi Jinping basically cracked down on corruption within the Chinese military, and people were like committing suicide. Elizabeth Luker, USA has overlooked China for way too long. It always been our number one threat. Just my opinion, but hey, everyone has one. Elizabeth, thank you. You know, Elizabeth, I think that how crazy I sound. I'm just reading about submarines. Elizabeth Luker, thank you. You know, I don't think they're a threat. I don't think we'll ever go to war with China. I don't think either of our economies could stand that. This is just really interesting for me to read. Chinese military prosecute former top general for graft. Xi takes aim at military and anti-graft drive. So there's a lot of corruption within the Chinese military. February 11, 2018, when the military investigators arrived at the luxurious Beijing villa of General Zhang Yang on November 23rd, they made a grisly discovery. Oh, wow. So he committed suicide. Having been relieved of his post as chief of political work in the People's Liberation Army in August, he had disappeared from public view. So, thank you, Elizabeth Luker. Thank you, Elizabeth Luker. Yeah, I mean, my thing is that I do not want a military conflict anywhere, especially not with Russia or China. And in discussing the cost of aircraft carriers and subs and all that, I mean, the issue with why we have such a Papa D, Space Force should use Navy rank structure. So that'd be like, yeah, that would be like Star Trek, right? Papa D, we have built a sea base. We should have built sea base. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I just want to, my thing is, give me, if I have two choices, I will always, always, always pick the less hawkish choice. Always. I don't care about anything else compared to that. So at the end of the day, they have nothing on Trump. They have nothing on Trump Jr. It's going to be a fun week. They're going to, it's really bad also when you continually repeat the same allegations that are baseless. At a certain point, you can't repeat things without having any evidence. You just look even more stupid than people already view you to be. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much. I think we're going to call it an evening. It has been very, very interesting. It's been a great chat. And I expect a really, really great week and some great discussions throughout the week, especially tomorrow. I think Trump's going to exactly. Russiagate did boomerang on them big time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you so very, very much. To my super chat, thank you so very much. As always, you give me every incentive to rock these live streams. And have a great, great evening. I will see you tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing week. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your friends about H.A. Goodman on YouTube. Tell your friends about this live stream and share this link everywhere. Thank you.